So, may have some news right now. I can barely believe this is real, but I have something to show you. I am indeed pregnant, 8 weeks pregnant actually, and it's just unbelievable how this has happened. Just to give anyone who happened to not know my story, if you have just somehow stumbled upon this page, my name is Tina Muir. I was a professional runner until March 22nd of 2017, when I suddenly stopped running, decided that I wanted to get my period back after 9 years of not having a period. Decided I wanted to get back because it was time for my husband and I to start trying for a family. So on March 22nd, stopped running. And I am now pregnant. Just, what is the date today? It will be the 30th of June. And I'm already pregnant, 8 weeks pregnant. So I can't believe it. So just, I guess, to kind of go along with the timeline, just to kind of give you guys a thing of how quickly this works. So I said March 22nd, I stopped. On May the 2nd, I met with my OB, or OBGYN as it was at the time. And that's in itself is quite a funny story, because I went in there and I thought runners are planners and I am such a planner. And I thought she'd be like, all right, it's gonna take you this amount of time, and then you're gonna need your period for this amount of time, and then we'll try. And if that doesn't work, then we'll try this. And if that doesn't work, then we'll try this. And then if all else fails, then we'll go to this step. And I thought she'd give me this big long list, but instead, she just says to me, if you're not pregnant in 3 months, come back and see me. And I was like, what? Where's my plan? Where's my like steps to take? Or like, how is this gonna be, so simple, kind of almost. And I said to her, but surely I'm putting myself at risk if I don't get my periods regular before I try. And she said, no, once your periods come back, because it's been such a long time, that is your body saying to you, I'm happy, I'm good, I'm safe. So she said that we had the go-ahead to start trying as soon as I got my cycles back. So that day I strutted out of that room feeling so confident, called my husband yes, look, this is such good news. She was so confident, and she left me with confidence. But little did I know, in just a few weeks I would call her telling her I was indeed pregnant. About 10 days later, I did the results-driven person in me. Even though I had stopped running, I still had that competitiveness, wanted to see some results. I started buying these little disposable cheap little ovulation things, just to see how things were going, see when my body was kind of working. And just day by day, one day I saw a very, very faint line, and then a few days later it was a little bit more, and I could finally admit to Steve that I was checking this every day. And one day it looked pretty clear, and so we bought a digital one, and it said I was, and we thought, okay, well, let's try, what's the harm? The doctor's given us the go-ahead, said there's no more risks or anything. So we thought, no expectations, had absolutely no expectation that it would work. But the craziest thing is, 3 to 4 days after I must have conceived, I knew I was pregnant. And if you know me, you know I'm very intuitive. You know that I really trust in my heart, and I believe in my gut things. I just know my body so well, and I just knew. I just had these strange symptoms, and I just knew. But obviously you're never really sure, so I waited until May 28th, I believe, and we found out I was pregnant. Couldn't believe that it happened that quickly. For all those people that said to me, you don't have to stop running, you don't. And actually, I've released a podcast episode today with Tawny Gibson. I hope you will take a listen. You can find a link on this page. And we talk about the other side of things. She did it a different way. She kind of backed off slowly and never really stopped exercising. Hers was more of a gradual approach. It took She's kind of decided she wanted to start making this journey in 2013, and she's 2 weeks ahead of me in pregnancy-wise. So it took her about 3 to 4 years to totally get this, to going again. Whereas I kind of took the more extreme approach and kind of did it in one go. I do realize I am incredibly lucky how quickly this happened. My dear Nanny Jolly, who had 10 children, I believe she is living on through me, passed away last year at age 99. But I believe she passed on her fertility to me. So I realize I am so lucky. But at the same time, I did everything I could to get my body in a good place, but didn't have that expectation of anything happening. So I think that's why it kind of came together the way it did. But for anyone who is scared about making the step, I mean, it's so worth it. I mean, even if it doesn't happen as quickly as it did for me, how confident I feel in who I am and how much better everything about my life is right now. It's hard to believe that I could go from being a professional runner who's like in the spotlight and running for Great Britain and doing really well. And there was definitely some high moments, but there was a lot of moments in between where I didn't feel good about myself, didn't feel confident, was constantly doubting how good I was. And now I just feel content with who I am. And yeah, there's a part of me that misses trying to like be the best and trying to like be competitive and see what I can do. But for the most part, I feel just so happy that I'm at this next stage in my life. So after I found out I was pregnant very early, I spent about a week in the constant fear of miscarriage, thinking that something was going to go wrong. And it does. I found out my doctor, Dr. Fusion, ended up telling me that 25% of pregnancies fail or go through miscarriages, I guess. That's a really bad way to say it, fail. I didn't mean that offensively to anyone. But 25% of women have miscarriages. I was at absolutely no higher risk than anyone else, but you're still considered high risk in that first period because you are just, one of... I guess it's 25%, so that could be, that's pretty high considering the amount of, we don't really see much exposure about it. And, I at the time thought I would kind of share straight away and be like, this is nothing to hide. If something goes wrong, then I can have the support and people will be there for me. But then I realized I just wasn't quite strong enough to be able to say it out loud. And, but I am announcing this at 8 weeks. So I am announcing it before the recommended 12 weeks, but I kind of figured that, I wanted women to have some hope that this was the right thing. And I kind of felt like I was deceiving people. I'm very honest, and I haven't really been on social media. I haven't really been writing blog posts because I just, pregnancy has not treated my body too well, to be honest. The baby is healthy. We do have our scan. It's on our fridge over there. We just had one, and it showed, it's just a little blob. It's the size of a raspberry, I think, right now. But everything is healthy. Everything looks good. The heartbeat is really good. So the doctor is really happy. But it definitely, my body, because of the extreme of going from basically a barren wasteland to kind of on turbo hormones, my body has not handled it too well. I've had really, really bad morning sickness. I went about 2 weeks where I could barely eat anything but saltines and Ritz crackers, two things I never thought I would live on. And it was really rough. I ended up in the ER one day because for about 2 days, I couldn't keep anything down, not even a sip of water. They gave me 2 IV drips to get the hydration back, and put me on anti-nausea medication, which unfortunately I am still taking. I did try to be a bit of a rebel a few weeks ago and come off it, but my body it hit me really hard the next few days when I stopped taking it, and it came back with a vengeance. So I've just learned that unfortunately for me, I have to be on this medication at least till the 12-week mark. It makes total sense. My body is probably confused as to what is going on. But, at the end of the day, once you become pregnant, you will do anything for this baby. I would have dealt with the sickness every day if I needed to, but thankfully they do have medications that will help you, and I've learned what works for me. That's been one of the toughest things, I think, is that there's so many things out there saying, do this, do that, helps with morning sickness, helps with this, helps with that. But unfortunately, you have to figure it out for yourself. You have to figure out what works for you. You have to be prepared with the absolute exhaustion that comes along with pregnancy. Definitely not the glow that they put across in the movies, which was really frustrating, because you see in the films where they like, oh my God, I'm pregnant, and then it's just like everyone is so happy and wonderful, and then you might see them like puke in a bucket a few times, but then everything is great. But a lot of pregnancy is a struggle, maybe especially for me because my body is confused, but I have had a bit of a rough time, and I felt like it was starting to affect my work. I couldn't even open my laptop quite a lot of the time because I just felt too ill. I couldn't even leave the couch. I didn't even go to bed for a while. I just literally day and night lied on the couch, went between the couch and the bathroom. It was rough, but I seem to have figured out what works best for my body, which is really good, and I think I've kind of got hold of things now. Although, funny story for those of you who know me, you know I'm a sweet lover. I have not gone really without a dessert for most of my life, and since I've become pregnant, have had no cravings for sweets, no cravings for cakes or cookies or ice cream. My body, I guess, is full up of sugar maybe, and the other funny thing is, in addition to not really craving the sweets, I have not been craving vegetables. I used to eat a very healthy diet. I was very good at getting my, whatever it is recommended a day, I would say I got it. Even if you say 9 to 10 vegetables a day, I probably got that. Like, I loved salads. I loved eating healthy. Now I cannot eat vegetables. They just make me feel sick. You know, when you were a kid and you got some kind of sick bug, and you kind of associated a food with the reason you got sick. Maybe it was the last thing you ate. Like for me, that was lentils. I have that feeling for a lot of foods now. You notice on the side here there are some bananas going bad, because bananas also sound gross. So there's a lot of foods, healthy foods, that I cannot eat right now. Unfortunately, I have become a carb monster, eating bread and cereal and mac and cheese, things that I haven't eaten in a long time, well, not regularly, and now they're things that I have to eat every day just to kind of keep my energy levels up. But it's been very interesting. The superpower of smell has been crazy. One day Steve was cooking fish outside, all the windows were shut, and I could smell the fish really strong, and it didn't smell good. As you are noticing a pattern here, I did go a few weeks where nothing smelled good, nothing tasted good, and I mean nothing. It literally became a case of what sounds the least bad, which in this case was saltines and Ritz crackers. But yeah, my sense of smell has been crazy. There's been so many changes, and it's been so hard not to say anything, but I thought it was time, again, if something doesn't go wrong, that will break my heart. But I know that, not only will people be there to support me, but I know that hopefully it will help other women too, knowing that, someone out there is kind of going through what they're going through, or has been through what they go through. When it comes to running, I have been running a little bit, but when I was sick, I didn't run, didn't do any exercise, just had to rest. I've really been running what I feel like, keeping my heart rate very low. I haven't run more than 5 miles yet. That's been interesting. And, I want to wrap this up now because this is supposed to be a kind of short video, but I just wanted to tell you personally that yes, I'm 8 weeks pregnant. Yes, I realize I am incredibly lucky this happened this fast. I know a lot of women try for years, and I'm so sorry, and just my heart breaks if it does take a long time, and this is really upsetting for you. I'm really not trying to make it that way. I just, I am lucky. I do realize that. And I think a lot of it for me was not having the pressure. Like Steve and I didn't expect anything. And I think that just helped us so much, because we just kind of were like, whatever, like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then we've got plenty of time. So I think that really helped. And I know it's easy to say, relax. And actually in that podcast episode I have with Tawny, I hope you will listen to it. Tawny kind of talked about this because she had a lot of trouble, and it was only when she kind of gave up trying that it actually came together, which is a common story that we hear. So make sure you check that podcast out. There will be links on this page. And if you have been interested or want to hear more about kind of what is going on, me being pregnant, the recovery process. I am going to be posting blog posts, and I am going to be doing consulting for anyone who does kind of want just a friend to talk to, someone, I guess you could call it a consultation, but just someone to talk to if you're thinking of making that step, but you're scared and you don't know what to do. I am going to be offering some stuff like that. So make sure you put your email in on this blog post. I have got plenty of spots in there for you to put it in, and I will keep you updated and hopefully be able to help you in the future if you are going to go through this recovery from amenorrhea, because either you do want to start a family or you just got fed up of, you know, not having a cycle, not feeling like a woman, because trust me, I feel that way. I'm also going to get my husband Steve to do some kind of video or blog post or something to kind of share his side of the story. So long story short, I'm pregnant. I am at no higher risk. Everything is great so far. Everything looks healthy. Yeah, big news. I will keep you posted. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all the support and love that you guys have given me. I would never be in this place right now if I hadn't reached, you know, happiness in who I am, and you've helped so much to show me that I have a lot to offer this world. So thank you so much. And I hope you will leave in the comments of this post. I want to know what you want to know about pregnancy. I'm going to write blog posts on my updates and kind of about pregnancy, and I'd love to hear what you would like to know, what weird questions you have that I can answer, as long as they're not too weird. I don't want to go crazy with the TMI information here. So, but just fun things that you'd like to know about pregnancy. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.